y'all, welcome back. My name's Sarah and this is my channel, The Sassy BookWorm. So today I'm going to be doing a February/March book haul because I didn't feel like I had enough books in February to justify doing a book haul for them, which now looking at them seems like a lot of books for one book haul, but there's a good reason why there's so many books. I don't know how many people know about it, but at Half Price Books, which I have one like about an hour away from me, every now and again on a Saturday they will have a sale that's like fill a bag for $30. You can put whatever books that you can find in it, as long as the handles don't break when you pick it up. This time when we went, it was actually really late, so they had boxes instead of bags, and it was fill a box for $20, so I still got a fair amount of books. I really wasn't feeling good that night, so I didn't go as crazy as I usually do with this thing, but I also had my mother with me, so we ended up just sharing a box. A lot of these books I picked up either because I've seen them before, or I know what they're from, or the cover was just pretty and it looked interesting. So there are some books in here that I probably won't know a whole lot about. I'll read the back, try to give you a small summary, and if I don't really know anything about it, I'm gonna try to leave some Goodreads links down below. So if you all want to see what the books are about, and I really don't know, then you can go check it out over there. So without further ado, let's start this haul. So the first book I have here is Slice of Cherry by Reeves. So the first thing I'm going to say about this book is it seems pretty twisted just from the cover alone. Like we got some teacups with a little bit of blood spilling out. So I'm not going to lie, this cover really drew me in to begin with. So I was like, oh, I wonder what this is about. And after reading the inside flap, it's gonna be kind of a twisted book, I believe. This book is about two sisters who are the daughters to a famous killer called the Bonesaw Killer. And it kind of seems like killing has been bred into their blood. It is such an instinctual thing, or a desire for them, and so they start to give into their dark desires of killing, but they only kill people who actually deserve it. And it seems like we're gonna kind of follow them along as they try and learn from the mistakes of their father. But being the daughter of a serial killer, they know how to hide evidence, and they know that a single shred of evidence could get them caught. But then it also says that they stumble into another world full of many different possibilities. So I don't know if this book is gonna so much focus on like them killing in like the real world, or if we're gonna focus more on their journey through the world that they discover. I don't know, but it sounded interesting, so I went ahead and picked it up, and I thought that it was a pretty cool cover to have regardless. And then the back of it is beautiful. I love these little cartoon flowers and little drawings. Oh, it's just so cute. So the next book I have here is Belzhar by Meg Wolitzer. So I was pretty excited when I seen this book, just because I remember seeing this book a lot around BookTube when it was released, and so when I found it at Half Price Books, I had to pick it up. I vaguely remember that it's about this girl, and she goes away to some boarding school that's supposed to help her figure out some things about herself, about what has happened to her. So I guess it's basically just a story of how she's coming to terms with things and discovering new things, and I'm really excited to read this book. It's a pretty short read, so it shouldn't take too long to get through, but I am pretty excited to pick this up pretty soon. So the next book I have here is The Beautiful and the Curse by Paige Morgan. I absolutely love the colors on this cover. Like, it's very pretty. So that kind of drew me in. I had heard about this book before. It is the first book in the Dispossessed series. I think there's like 3 or 4, I'm not 100% sure, but it's about this girl named Ingrid who has to flee with her mother and her youngest sister. When they have to flee, they leave behind a life of luxury that they have always known, but once they get to their destination, they come to find out that her twin brother Grayson has disappeared. This book in particular is going to be about them going to find Grayson, about their journey there, about the secrets that they're going to unlock along the way, and it does sound like a pretty interesting book. So the next book I have here is Distant Waves by Suzanne Weyn. I don't know. I apologize. I don't know how to say last names apparently. But anyway, it says on the cover that it is a novel of the Titanic. So this book is about 5 sisters who live in a place called Spirit Vale, where their mother makes a living talking to the dead. However, the sisters don't want to stay in Spirit Vale forever. They each have a destiny or a fate that they each want to work towards. So like there's 2 twins that want to follow in their mother's footsteps. There's some that want to be famous. There's some who have secrets surrounding them. Some who just want to do great things with science. They all have very different personalities and different end goals. But they all come together on the Titanic, where all of their destinies kind of meet together. But it soon turns into a fight for survival. And the question is, who will make it through and who won't? When I seen this cover, I picked it up instantly, and when I read what it was about, it sounds like a pretty interesting book to pick up sometime. So the next book I have here is Hero by Alethea Kontis. On the cover it says that it's a companion to Enchanted, so I guess that's the first book, and inside it says The Woodcutter Sisters Book 2. So I didn't really read what it was about just because it is a second book, and I usually try to stay away from like synopsises of a second book just in case it ruins the first book. I don't think that this one is a sequel to the first one because it just says a companion novel, but I didn't want to take any chances. But if you want to know what it's about, I'll leave the link down below so that you can go check it out for yourself. So the next book I have here is Cold Kiss by Amy Garvey, and I actually picked this book up because I used to be really into making Barnes & Noble wish lists, and so if I saw a book I automatically added it to my wish list, and this was actually one of them that I had on my wish list from a really long time ago, so I automatically picked it up. At the time I didn't really remember what it was about, but basically what it's about is this girl named Ren who's just recently had her boyfriend pass away and she wants him back. So basically she brings him back. I'm not exactly sure how, but he's not the same. He's a cold bean. He's not warm like he used to be. His heart doesn't beat. He's not really alive. So Ren realizes her mistake and tries to keep Danny a secret and doesn't know what to do with him until someone named Gabriel shows up at her school and can sense the power within her and what she done, and he wants to help her make it right. So I'm gonna assume the story is gonna be about them trying to put Danny back to rest so that all is right in the world again. So the next book I have here is A Need So Beautiful by Suzanne Young. This was actually another book that I'd had on my Barnes & Noble wish list a long time ago, so when I seen it I picked it up as well. So this book follows a girl named Charlotte who just wants to help her best friend whose life is spiraling out of control and lay in her boyfriend's arms forever. However, she can't, because she is a type of angel called the Forgotten, and what the Forgotten do is they have this need, which is a very strong force that drives them to help people, usually being a stranger. Charlotte doesn't want to live this life, so she has to choose whether to accept her role as a Forgotten and help people, or to go against her nature no matter what the consequences may be. The next book I have here is I Am The Wallpaper by Mark Peter Hughes. This book is about a 13-year-old girl who's always lived in the shadow of her older sister and has always just kind of blended into the background. Until one day her sister gets married and goes on a honeymoon. It sparks something inside of her to try to be noticed. So with a diary in hand, a jar of deep wild violet hair dye, and some books on Zen Buddhism, she tries to step out of her comfort zone and be someone who can be noticed. Which works. People start to notice her, including the people that matter most, like the guy who is most important to her. However, then disaster strikes. She doesn't know whether people are noticing her because she's fabulous now, or because her cousins have actually posted her diary online for everyone to read. So we follow this girl's story, how she became noticed, and how she is going to recover from the betrayal of her diary being put online. So the next book I have here is Sun and Moon, Ice and Snow by Jessica Day George. This was actually another one of the books that I'd had on my Barnes & Noble wish list a long time ago. I want to say that it might be like a Beauty and the Beast retelling, but in a very different way. I'll leave a link down below so that you all can go check it out for yourself to see what you think it's about, but that's the kind of vibes that I'm getting from it. The next book I have here is Darkness Savage by Rachel A. Marks. So this is actually a third book in a series called The Dark Cycle, so I'm not 100% sure what this book is about or what the series is about, but the cover looked like something that I would read. It looks like there's some mystical powers, so usually anything that has to do with mystical powers and magic and fantasy I'm just automatically drawn into, so I was pretty sure that it would be a book I would enjoy. At the time when I got it, I didn't know that it was a third book in the series, but hey, if I find the first book and the second, I have the third already, so it's fine. So the next book I have here is The Reluctant Heiress by Eva Ibbotson? I don't know. So I'm pretty sure this is a historical fiction kind of book. It's set in the 1920s in Austria. It's about this girl who is an heiress, which doesn't mean a whole lot at this time. To anyone else, it would seem frustrating, but to her, it's perfectly fine. It excites her because it allows her to focus on her love for the arts. So she works at an opera house where Nobody knows that she's a princess, and she can just kind of be who she wants to be, where she meets Guy Frayne, and starts to feel attracted to him, and starts to weaken her reserve of not telling anyone who she actually is. So this book's going to be about her struggle with that, and the many obstacles standing between them, and if she can continue on living this secret life. The next book I have here is The Next Full Moon by Carolyn Turgeon. So I picked this book up and read the back of it, and I just had to get it to find out what happened, because you know, we have books about werewolves and vampires, but on the back of this one it says everything is going beautifully, happily, perfectly for Ava until she starts to grow feathers. Is she some kind of freak or something truly special? I just want to know where the feathers are coming from, because we usually have people that turn into like four-legged creatures, but I mean, she could be turning into a bird. So I picked it up just so I could find out what she actually is. So the next book I have here is 37 Things I Love in No Particular Order by Kekela Magoon. I picked up this book because it's purple, and purple is one of my favorite colors. I just thought that this cover was so pretty, and so I picked it up to see what it was about. It's about this girl who just feels like everything is tumbling down in life, and she just doesn't know how to handle it. But when everything seems pretty bleak, she finds comfort in the oddest of places, and she discovers that even when the world feels like it's falling apart, the people you love are the ones who hold it together. So this book is set up in a pretty interesting way. I really like the way that it's set up. I flipped through it just to kind of see if there was any marks in it when I bought it, but it looks like each chapter is one of the things that she loves in no particular order. So I went ahead and got it because it looked very interesting the way that it was set up. And I like how the author done each chapter as something that she loved. I thought that was really cool, so I'm pretty excited to get into this book. So the next book I have here is Gamer Girl by Mari Minkasi. This book follows a girl named Maddie whose life is anything but grand in the real world. Her parents are split. She just had to move to a small town where she's stuck and being forced to go to a new school. And while none of this is very grand, Maddie finds her escape in the world of gaming. Sometimes she can retreat into her manga art, but when she gets this new game for her birthday called Field of Fantasy, she realizes that she has found the place where she can truly be herself, and it gives her an escape from reality, and she can be this beautiful elfin princess with magical powers and live the life that she wished she could live. But she doesn't know if just escaping from real life is enough, or if she can make her real life as great as she does her virtual life. I'm pretty excited about this one. I don't consider myself a gamer girl. Like, I play Mario and Pokemon and The Sims and stuff like that, but I've never been into like League of Legends or World of Warcraft. I do have friends that play stuff like that, but being a reader, I've escaped reality into books millions of times, and I know that people that don't enjoy reading do that with games as well. And so the concept itself of just escaping reality and then trying to balance your real life with your virtual one, I really like it. So I picked up this book when I seen it. So the next book I have here is My Girlfriend's a Geek by Pintaboo. So this book is set up really weird. Like, just by flipping through it, you can kind of see that it's set up pretty weird. This book is about a guy who is dating a girl who is a geek in a major way, and so she kind of starts to pull him into her fandom world and expose him to all the crazy fangirl tendencies that, you know, a lot of us have. But he actually has a whole blog dedicated to living life with a girlfriend who's a geek, which I don't really know how I feel about it. I wanted to get it just because I wanted to see what it was and what it was about. I think it's basically going to be written like as the blog, which is kind of cool. I don't know if I'll enjoy it or not, but I did go ahead and get it just because I was, you know, in the middle of buying all of these books anyway. So, you know, it was a small book. It fit into the box real easily. So the next book I have here is Banished by Sophie Littlefield. So this book is about a 16-year-old girl who has never belonged, not with the rich kids in her school, not with the rejects, and certainly not at home with her grandmother, who is sickly and cruel and deals drugs out of their basement. I don't really know. It's just that's what it says. But she has plans for when she turns 18 to take her and her 4-year-old brother far away from this life. But when one of her classmates gets injured in gym class, she learns something about herself that she would have never thought of. She has the gift to heal people and can even bring people back to life. Armed with this knowledge now, she doesn't know what to do, and she searches for answers only to find more questions until someone shows up at her grandmother's house who claims to be her aunt. Not knowing who to trust or what to do, at first she doesn't trust this woman until she saves her and her little brother from attackers who break into their grandmother's house in the middle of the night. This discovery and these new powers could force her to leave Gypsum a lot earlier than she had planned. But unfortunately for her, she realizes that this gift of healing she has is only the beginning. So the next book I have here is The Ghost and the Goth by Stacy Cade. So I'm not gonna lie, I don't know anything about this book. I remember seeing this book a lot growing up, but I had never picked it up, and I don't really know what it's about. I feel like this book's gonna be one that I just kind of want to go into blindly, so I didn't read any synopsises about it. But of course, if you want to know what it's about, I'll leave a link down below so that anyone can go check it out on Goodreads to see what it's about if they want to. But I just personally wanted to go into this book blind, but I went ahead and added it to my book collection so that I could read it someday. So the next book I have here is The Juliet Club by Suzanne Harper. I picked up this book simply for the name in itself because I've read quite a few Romeo and Juliet retellings, so I thought maybe that's what this would be about, or just kind of be loosely based on Romeo and Juliet. But this book follows Kate Sanderson, someone who has a deep admiration for anything Shakespeare. So when she gets dumped out of the blue, she vows never to fall in love again. So when she is accepted into a summer program in Italy, she decides this is exactly what she needs to do to get over her heartbreaking loss. Although her vow to never fall in love again may come crashing down as she meets one of these people who is in this Shakespeare experience with her, who has the same admiration as she does. And after all, they are in the city where Romeo and Juliet fell in love. So the last book I got from Half Price Books is Mortal Heart by Robin Lefevre. This is the third book in the His Fair Assassin trilogy. I'm pretty sure that I have the first book already, so when I seen this, I went ahead and got this because it is a series that I want to read. I remember when it came out, there was a lot of hype around it. So this book I have here is Daughter of Deep Silence by Carrie Ryan. So I actually found this book at the Dollar Tree. I was ecstatic when I found this book. This book came out like 2-3 years ago maybe. Like, it hasn't been out for a very long time, and it was a pretty popular YA novel when it came out. So this book is about a girl who has an extreme secret that she has been hiding for years to protect herself and people around her. But after years of carefully plotting, she is ready to expose this deep, dark secret she has been hiding for so many years and face the consequences that could come with it. So this is actually another book that I got from the Dollar Tree. I found it the same day as I found that, and it is Seeker by Arwen Elias Dayton. This book is about a girl who has trained her whole life to become a seeker, which she always thought meant protecting the weak and the wronged. But when she takes her oath, she learns that not everything is what she thought it was. But unfortunately for her, it's too late to walk away now. So she has to learn how to deal with these things and what she can do to fix it. Alright, so that was all of the books that I had for you guys today. This was kind of a long book haul. I tried to explain these books the best that I could. I'm gonna leave links to all of these books down below to Goodreads so that you can go check them out for yourself. See if these books are something that you would want to read. Leave a comment down below if you have read any of these books, and if you suggest any of these books to be picked up soon, or if one of these books was one of your favorite books. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more book hauls from me, and hit that subscribe button down below if you want to see more content from me. I try to make a video at least once a week, so I hope that you will come on this journey with me as I figure out who I'm going to be on YouTube. I hope that you all have a wonderful day, and until next time, I will see you guys then. Bye. And can sense the power within her. So the next book I have here is Gamer Burr. It's a Gamer Burr. The Ghost and the Goth by Stacy.